You saw the title, you know what you're getting into. So when it comes to the dialogue regarding Charlie Kirk and what's happening now, the conversation really goes around, well, he's a bad person, so maybe he deserved it. I don't think this is the conversation we should be having. Love him or hate him, he provoked conversation. He provoked dialogue on college campuses on things that are important to one's country. Now, people may say, like, oh, his speeches were very aggressive. I'm sorry to say, like, you're too sheltered, honey. Like, you're too sheltered if you think that words are violence. Dialogue like this that Charlie Kirk introduced is what was important to prevent harmful acts to one's life from happening. The conversation shouldn't be about whether he's a good or bad person. The conversation should be on the free speech, the censorship that's been happening. One should not have to feel fear when speaking about their opinion. Because when I think about fear of speaking out, when I think about censorship, when I think about getting yourself soft because of what you say, I think about 1984. I think about George Orwell's 1984 and Big Brother, and how in that world, what you say, if it doesn't follow the ideology and if it goes directly against the government, you were done for. And if we think about now, like, perhaps that person didn't believe in what Charlie Kirk believed in. Does that mean he has to get offed because of it? No. Just because someone doesn't follow or subscribe to the ideas that you subscribe to doesn't mean that they need to get offed. Just because you believe that what you think and what your ideology is superior to another doesn't mean that they have a lower right to speak about their opinion than you do. Isn't that what the whole point is, to have that open dialogue? Or am I wrong? What really irked me was this conversation in a college campus and how they're debating about Charlie Kirk and his death, and how, oh well, it's tragedy, but he deserved it. Like, you get what's coming for you. I'm just thinking in my head that this is just the start of the control. This is just the start of the censorship. And that slowly, in the extreme case, it's going to be 1984. It's like we're slowly going into that pathway. Like, the government is already trying to shape the minds of the younger individuals on their ideology. They're going for your kids. And I'm thinking now, like, in some ways they've succeeded. We have given the government control of the nuclear family. And every day I'm feeling like there's such polarity on good versus bad. The other side is good, the other side bad, when in reality it is not that black and white. We're being pitted against each other when in reality the people that are in control are just laughing at us. Because at the end of the day, they have the last laugh. We have been so afraid of open dialogue, of having our viewpoints, our worldviews challenged, that we believe that offing someone, making someone a martyr, mind you, is good. There has been such a lack of humanity in people thinking that this is okay just because they believe, even if he was a bad person, I'm not saying he was good, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but even if he was a bad person, that doesn't warrant what he had to go through. That wasn't the physical violence that he even induced. And there's one argument one college student gave on how she was afraid that despite him gone, that people are still going to follow him, the message is going to still be there, like, it's not going to die with him. Like, can you hear yourself right now? Can you hear how absurd that is? In order for your beliefs to exist, to triumph, there has to be an offing of someone else. It's like people can't think critically and follow who they want to follow. At the end of the day, people followed Charlie Kirk because people believed him. People critically thinked and believed that this is something I want to follow. They weren't like stupid. They weren't stupid in thinking those things. People have the right to follow what they want to follow the ideology they want to follow. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that there's still open dialogue, there's still conversations about it, there's still talking. If there's no talking, like with any relationship, if there's no talking, if there's no communication in a relationship, what happens? Miscommunication, and then one goes violent in extreme cases. If there isn't that open dialogue, if there isn't any talk or conversation at all between people, then what ensues is miscommunication. What ensues is violence, actual violence that actually matters. And I feel like people are viewing what he's saying as literal violence, words as literal violence, words that weren't targeting a specific person. He had beliefs, and you can believe them, you can hate them all you want, but he had a right. He had a right to speak them without fear. And people who followed him had the right to do so as well. Just the same way as the other side could speak on what they want, speak about their feelings, speak about they, them pronouns, whatever have you. Speak about their ideology. This isn't something political. This isn't something about good or bad. This is about free speech and the clear censorship and the clear control one has on the narrative. If there is not another side to a belief, then you can't be right. There's just this absolute, I swear. Heck, I'm not even in America. Like, this is pissing me off. And I feel like people have been too afraid to speak out about their opinion because people get violent. People can't have an honest conversation about it. And I feel as though this is like a pinnacle point in which people see that it's an issue. People with their eyeballs can see real time of the ramifications of not having free speech, not having open dialogue does, and how it can get violent, and how, like they said, there are repercussions for one's words, right? You really wanted that, so now people are getting fired from their jobs. I'm not saying it's right or good, but it's what they want, right? Ramifications for words spoken, dialogue spoken. It's pissing me off. Like, how can people not see that this is a right issue? This is the right to speak without fear of dying. And we have to think to ourselves, what exactly is the end goal? Well, the end goal is control. They want us to be more controllable. They're making us dumber. They're making us reliant on social media. This is like the slaves. We're basically becoming slaves. We don't own anything besides the material things and the consumption that we buy. We're becoming mindless, non-critically thinking people. Because human nature, like, I always think, like, at some point when you receive all this money and you're at the top, like, you're gonna get bored. You're gonna want something more. You want something outlandish. You want to feed that pride in you that you can still do it. That's why you do outlandish thing. And at some point, there's no some point. It just continues. We are endlessly unsatisfied. We keep on wanting more and more. There is not enough power for the elite that they can get their hands on. We have to be fully in their control. And by the time we realize that we're being controlled, that we're being manipulated, that we're being put against each other, and that it's not a conversation between left or right, it's a conversation between the elite, those in power, and us. But they want you in control. They want you to be uncontrollable. And it's working. I have to say, it is working. We, in social media, we are bombarded with all this information. We are bombarded with all of this dialogue, and we don't know what to think. Anything can be twisted to suit a side. If facts don't work, emotion. If emotion doesn't work, facts. So I feel as this is a warning. I feel like we're at the precipice of, it can either go two ways. Radical change, or it can go radical control. And it depends on you. It really depends on you. If you are willing, if you have the strength to speak out and speak your mind on this, bring light to this, or you would rather be a follower, rather be following the status quo, being compliant with the things happening already, that you know deep in your heart is not right. We do not wish the death on people, and we have to really villainize them in order for that death to be acceptable. Really something to think about.